Have you ever felt that strange tightness in your chest when someone says, "I'm coming over"? You smile out of politeness. You respond, "Yeah, no problem, just come by." But inside, your mind whispers something completely different, and there goes my peace. If you know that exact feeling, you're far from alone, and you're definitely not strange for feeling it. Today, we're diving into the psychology of why some people dislike having visitors, even when they genuinely like and care about the people who step through their door. For some people, hosting guests is pure joy. The laughter, the shared stories, the playful chaos, the warm energy bouncing around the room, there's beauty in that. But for others, home plays a very different role. Home is sacred. It's personal. It's the only environment where the mask drops, where breathing slows down, where the world finally stops demanding effort, output, or performance. And when someone crosses that threshold, even someone you love, something subtly shifts. The air changes. The silence breaks. A quiet tension appears. Not because you dislike the person visiting, but because your sanctuary has been entered, your bubble has been disturbed, and your brain feels it instantly. Why does such a small thing feel like such a big invasion? Psychologically, individuals who value solitude experience something called territorial comfort. Their home isn't just a physical location, it's their recalibration space. It's where they rebuild after spending energy out in the world. In that environment, every sound, every object, every routine is something they control. So when a visitor arrives, the brain reacts like a calm lake suddenly struck by a pebble. Nothing catastrophic happens, but the ripples change the surface entirely. There's also the social energy element. A lot of people use their home to recover from performance mode. Outside, they're attentive, polite, aware of social cues, conscious of how they're perceived, and emotionally available. They're on. But inside their home, they finally get to turn that switch off, so when a guest enters, even a beloved friend or family member, that switch flips right back on. And that subtle emotional labor, monitoring tone, body language, conversation flow, starts draining the internal battery again, quietly, invisibly, constantly. Here's something almost nobody admits out loud. Some of the kindest, most caring, most warm-hearted people feel the strongest sense of relief the second the door closes behind a visiting guest. Not because they're rude, not because they're antisocial, but because silence feels like oxygen and solitude feels like medicine. Psychologists say that people like this often have strong emotional boundaries. They're not pushing people away. They're protecting the spaces that keep them whole. To them, home is not a stage. Home is not a public venue. It's not a performance environment. It's the rawest, most unfiltered version of who they are when no one is observing or expecting anything. That's also why so many of these people prefer meeting friends in neutral spaces, cafes, parks, restaurants, anywhere outside their home, so their inner world stays protected, untouched, private. There's also a deeper layer. For some, this sensitivity comes from childhood environments. Maybe guests meant anxiety, cleaning frantically, judgment, noise, chaos, or pressure. Maybe visitors never respected boundaries or brought tension into the home. So now, as adults, the body remembers. Visitors trigger a subtle alert response, even if the mind tries to stay relaxed. The nervous system reacts before logic has time to translate what's happening. But here's the truth that matters. There is absolutely nothing wrong with protecting your space. You can love people deeply and still crave solitude. You can enjoy socializing and still guard your peace. You can be incredibly friendly and still need your sanctuary untouched. Because for some, the purest form of comfort is a quiet room, a familiar chair, a cup of tea or coffee, soft lighting, and the gentle hum of their own thoughts. That's not avoidance. It's restoration. And there's a big difference between isolation and recovery. One comes from fear. The other comes from self-preservation. People who value solitude instinctively understand that. When they decline a visit or feel uneasy about hosting, they aren't rejecting the person. They're honoring their own energetic boundaries. Here's another layer most people miss. Society subtly pressures us to be constantly available, welcoming, open, and ready to entertain. But not all minds operate well under that expectation. Some personalities thrive in noise and shared space. Others thrive in calm and controlled environments. Neither one is superior. Neither is flawed. If anything, many of the most creative, introspective, emotionally intelligent people are the ones who fiercely defend their private space. Their home is where ideas form, where reflection happens, where they rebuild before stepping out to face the world again. In a culture that constantly demands attention and performance, protecting that space is not just preference, it's survival. So let's normalize it. Let's normalize loving someone's presence and also loving the moment they leave. Let's normalize saying, let's meet outside instead. Let's normalize needing downtime after social interaction. Let's normalize being social without sacrificing solitude, because everyone restores differently, and honoring that truth is a form of emotional maturity. Now, I'm curious. Are you like this? Share your experience in the comments. And if this resonated with you, subscribe for more videos where we break down everyday human behavior in simple, relatable language. See you in the next one.